Let me paint a picture for you. You just had a short talk with a guy. It didn't last long, maybe 10 minutes. But when you walk away, he's still thinking about you, even hours later. He's smiling at his phone, replaying the way you said something. It's not just what you wore or how you looked, though yes, you did look amazing. It's something else. It's the way you spoke. Something only you would say. And that's the moment I want to talk about today. Attraction isn't just about appearance or chemistry. It's about emotional fingerprints, those tiny moments and words that leave a lasting memory, the kind that make someone think there's just something about her. And one of the most overlooked ways to leave that kind of mark? A nickname. Now, I don't mean the usual stuff like babe, sweetie, or honey. I'm talking about a nickname that's personal, playful, and just cheeky enough to stay on his mind. A name only you use for him. One that makes him feel something deep inside each time he hears it. Because when you give a guy a special nickname, you're doing something small but powerful. You're creating a tiny moment that's just for the two of you. It becomes like your secret code, a private way of speaking that makes him feel noticed, teased, appreciated, and maybe even a bit hooked. That's what makes a woman unforgettable. And once you know how to do that with purpose, you'll never be just another girl. You'll be the one he remembers while driving home, the one whose voice plays in his head when he's lying in bed, the one who left a trace he can't shake. Because when you use words that touch his emotions instead of just reacting to what he says or does, you create a space where something deeper can grow. You're not just playing games or throwing out cute lines. You're giving him something rare, a feeling, a memory, an experience that stands out. In a world full of quick texts, casual chats, and surface-level attraction, you become the one who goes deeper without trying too hard. The one who makes him stop and feel something, and he won't always know how to describe it. He might not even understand why he keeps thinking about you, but that's the point. What you're doing isn't about logic, it's about emotion. And emotions are powerful, they linger, they stick. He might be in a meeting, out with friends, or just lying in bed at night, and suddenly, that one word you said comes back to him. That nickname, that smile, that playful tone, and it brings back the way he felt in that exact moment with you. He felt seen, not for what he does, but for who he is. He felt wanted, not just physically, but emotionally. He felt like the man he wants to be. And it all started with one small moment. One word said with intention. So don't underestimate the power of what you say. You don't need to change who you are. You don't need to play a role. You just need to tune into the moment. Let yourself be bold. Let yourself be soft. Let yourself have fun with it. Because confidence doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real. It means trusting that you can show up as yourself and still have the power to create a spark he won't forget. So next time you're talking to someone and the energy is right, try one of these names. Let it come out naturally. Don't overthink it. Don't second guess. Just let it drop into the conversation like it belongs there, because it does. How you become unforgettable. You don't have to be the loudest or the flashiest. You just have to be the one who makes him feel. And these nicknames, they're not about control. They're about connection. They remind him that flirting can be meaningful, that chemistry can be playful and deep, that attraction isn't always loud. It's often in the quiet, the confident, the unexpected. And the more you practice this, the easier it gets. You'll start to notice the shift in his body language, in his voice, in the way he looks at you. So let's dive into this. Let me share a few nicknames that, when used the right way, can have him smiling to himself and wondering how you manage to get inside his head so easily. Let's begin with one of my favorites, Trouble. Now you might think, why would I call a man Trouble? But stay with me. That one word, said with the right tone at the right moment, can completely change the mood between you and a guy. It can create fun tension, light flirtation, and even a quiet little challenge that keeps you circling in his thoughts. When you call a guy Trouble, you're not blaming him for anything serious, you're teasing him. You're gently pointing out the mischief in his eyes, the confidence in his posture, or the sly way he flirts with you. You're saying, I see what you're doing, and I'm not falling for it, but I kind of love that you're trying. And men love being seen like that, especially when it's not in a serious, deep emotional way, but in a playful way that feels good. When you glance at him with that little smile and say, you're such trouble, what you're really giving him is a compliment covered in flirtation. You're letting him know that he's caught your attention, that he's having an effect on you, and that you're enjoying this game. And here's the fun part. When you say it, you become the woman who can match him. You're not just falling for his charm, you're keeping up. You're saying, you're clever, but I'm just as clever. And that is what makes men remember you. They remember the woman who didn't just get pulled in, but who flirted back and stood her ground. The best time to use this nickname? During playful banter. Maybe he's teasing you, being overly confident, or acting like he knows he's charming. That's your chance. Look at him, raise an eyebrow and say, you know what? You're Trouble. Maybe even toss in a little laugh, make it light and flirty, and then switch the topic. Why? Because that moment will linger in his mind. You dropped a spark and walked away, and now he's chasing that feeling. What makes this work so well is that it's low pressure. You're not being too serious. You're not confessing big feelings. You're simply playing. And that kind of energy is what keeps attraction alive. It makes a man feel good. It makes him feel interesting, exciting, noticed. And it makes you unforgettable. You didn't just sit back and giggle. You gave him a name that now lives rent-free in his mind. So the next time you're with a guy and you feel that little spark of playfulness, try it. Call him Trouble. Then watch what happens. You just might see a smile from him that says, wow, no one's ever said that to me before. Because someone finally saw the spark in him and gave it a name. And trust me, he won't forget who did. Now let's talk about another nickname that goes right to a man's heart, Hero. I know it might sound a bit dramatic at first. We live in a time where women are strong, independent, and can handle everything on their own. And that's exactly why this nickname works so beautifully, because when a confident, independent woman looks at a man and says, thanks, Hero, it does something to him. It creates an emotional shift. It makes him feel respected, appreciated, even needed, but not in a desperate way. Here's something many women don't realize. Men don't necessarily want to rescue anyone, but they do want to feel useful. They want to feel like they can show up for someone. There's a part of the male identity that longs for purpose, for meaning through action. When you call a man Hero, even if you're joking a bit, you're speaking right to that need inside him. You're saying, I see you, I value what you do. You're not asking for anything major. It might be as small as him helping you carry something, walking you to your car, giving advice, or solving a tiny problem. When he does, instead of just saying thanks, look him in the eyes, smile a little, and say, you're such a hero. It's cute, it's playful, it's slightly flirty. And here's the magic. He feels it. Even if he shrugs or laughs in the moment later when he's alone, he hears it again in his mind. And it doesn't sound like a thank you. It sounds like, you're the kind of man I trust. That's what sticks with him. What makes this nickname powerful is how rare it is. Most guys get called by their names or maybe get the occasional compliment, but Hero? That stands out. It tells him how you see him. It paints a picture of the role he plays in your eyes. You're saying, I notice the part of you that wants to be there, wants to protect, wants to support, and I like that. It's not about feeding his ego. It's about showing him that you notice something special. The trick is not to say it too often. Don't use it for every small thing. Save it for when it really lands. Let it feel special, light, and a little flirty. That's what makes it work. So next time he does something kind, even something small, look into his eyes, soften your tone a bit, and say, "Thanks, hero." That one word could be the reason he keeps thinking about you long after the day is done. Now, let's get into a nickname that brings out something more instinctive in a man, Captain. This one's smooth. It has a quiet kind of power. It makes a man feel like he's taking the lead, while you're enjoying the journey right beside him. Men love to lead, not in a bossy or controlling way, but in a let me take care of this kind of way. It's about being decisive, making plans, taking initiative. So when you call a man captain, what you're really saying is, I see what you're doing, and I like it. Maybe he's setting up a date, picking where to go, making a bold suggestion. That's your chance to smile and say, okay, Captain, what's the plan? Just like that, you've handed him the wheel in a fun, confident way that keeps things balanced. You're not giving up your power, you're sharing it. That kind of energy, it's electric. And let's be real, most men don't hear names like that. They get hey, or just their first name. But Captain, that's different. It tells him something about how you see him, and men are naturally drawn to women who reflect back the strong side of them. When you say Captain, you're not just flirting, you're showing trust in that moment. And trust mixed with fun, that's incredibly attractive. The best part? You can play with how you say it. Use a serious tone, and he'll feel respected. Say it with a little smile, and he'll know it's flirtation. Say it teasingly like, easy there, Captain. Don't crash the ship. And now you're joking. Either way, it gives him something to react to. It keeps the connection alive. And here's what happens next. He starts to feel like, with you, he's more sure of himself, more bold, more like a man. You're not asking him for anything. You're simply teasing him into stepping into that role. And that's what makes you so attractive, because suddenly it's not just about the cute name you used, it's about how you made him feel when you said it. So next time a guy steps up, takes control, or even just tries to, look at him with that knowing grin and say, all right, Captain, show me the way. Because when you give a man a role where he feels trusted, wanted, and truly seen, he doesn't just remember the words. He remembers you as the woman who made him feel like the man he always dreamed of being. Let's talk about a nickname that's bold, a little cheeky, and impossible to forget. Flirt. This one isn't about feeding his ego. It's about calling out what he's already doing, in a fun way. And when you do that right, it creates a moment that sticks in his head long after the chat is over. We've all been there. He's laying on the charm, flashing that smile that lingers a little too long, teasing you, tossing out compliments, maybe even brushing your arm on purpose. And you're loving it, but instead of just smiling shyly or giggling, you lean in a bit and say with confidence, "You're such a flirt." Something special happens right then. You're not just soaking up his attention. You're pointing it out. You're stepping into the moment, calling out the spark between you and flipping the game in the most powerful way. Because now you've taken the lead. He thought he was charming you, but now he's the one being seen, being teased, feeling slightly unsteady in the best way. Men enjoy flirting, sure, but even more than that, they love a woman who can keep up with it. When you call him flirt, You're doing just that. You're not being distant. You're not throwing yourself at him either. You're playing, and there's serious strength in that word. He says, I notice you. I see what you're doing, and I like it, but I'm not falling for it. Just yet. And that's the secret. It creates a little tension. You're not turning down his charm. You're simply not getting swept away by it. And that drives him crazy in the best way, because it shows him you're different. You're not impressed just because he has smooth lines. You're tuned in, you're aware, you're fully in your own power. Use this word when the moment is already heating up, when the conversation is flowing, when he's leaning in, when the connection is clear. Say it with a grin, a playful roll of your eyes, or a soft chuckle. You're such a flirt. Then pause. Let it sit in the air, let him feel that you noticed, and that you're not afraid to tease him about it. Because the moment you say it, he starts to wonder, did she like that? Is she feeling this? Am I winning her over? Or is she just enjoying watching me work? And that's exactly what you want. You want him curious, pulled in, hooked. The beauty of the word flirt is that it walks the perfect line between fun and real. It's light enough to keep things playful, but deep enough that he remembers you saying it, and only you. Next time he's laying it on thick, don't just sit there and smile. Say it. Lean in. Deliver it with just the right energy. You're a flirt, aren't you? And then watch him melt. Now let's talk about probably the most irresistible and unforgettable nickname of all. Mine. This one isn't like the rest. It's not teasing, it's not just playful. And it's not about pointing out what he's doing. Mine is about claiming something, a spark, a feeling, a connection that feels too strong to ignore. And when you say it with the right tone, whispered, soft, playful, or even bold, it hits a man deep. Here's the truth. Most men walk around trying to earn attention, get approval, spark interest. They're used to chasing. But when you call him mine, you flip all that around. You tell him, you don't need to chase me right now. You're wanted, you're claimed, you're desired. And that changes the game completely. It speaks to something inside him that craves being picked, being the one, being deeply wanted by a woman who could have anyone and chose him. It's a powerful shift. It skips over the logical mind and hits him emotionally. The trick is in the timing. Don't say it when he's being distant or unsure. Say it when the chemistry is already there, when he's pulling you closer, when he's acting irresistible and he knows it. That's when you look into his eyes with that playful smile and say, you know you're mine, right? Or maybe when he does something that makes you laugh or shows his soft side, you say it like it just slipped out. Mine. Just like that, you've created a moment he'll never forget. Because now he's not just feeling attracted, he's feeling claimed. He's feeling chosen by someone who truly sees him and isn't afraid to show it. You're not asking for a relationship. You're not making demands. You're simply letting him feel what it's like to belong to you, if only for that heartbeat. And that sticks with him, because most people don't talk like that. Most women are careful, guarded, waiting for signs. But when you say mine with full confidence, with that spark in your eye, it's unforgettable. It sounds like something out of a dream. It sounds like hope. It sounds like something he didn't realize he needed to hear until you said it. That's the magic of true attraction. It's not about chasing. It's not about trying hard. It's about being so sure of who you are, so present that you become unforgettable. Mine does that. It stays in his thoughts when he's lying in bed at night. It makes him picture what it would be like to truly belong to you. So use it when it feels right, when the tension is already high, when the moment feels deep or close. Say it like you're not trying to win him, because deep down, you already know. He's thinking the same thing. One word, one heartbeat, one memory he won't ever shake is something most people don't say out loud. Attraction isn't just about looks, timing, or even chemistry. It's about moments, tiny, powerful moments that hit different, that make someone feel something brand new when they're with you. These nicknames, they're not just cute words. They're emotional cues, memory triggers. When used with real presence and fun energy, they create moments that stick with him long after you've walked away. Trouble makes him feel wild and fun. Hero taps into his need to be strong and dependable. Captain makes him feel like a leader. Flirt shows him you see what he's doing. And love, playing along. And mine, that one makes his whole world stop. Because it doesn't just sound good, it feels like something deep, something rare. But remember, these names only work when you mean them. Don't just memorize a line. Feel the energy. Use them when it fits the moment. Let your body language say just as much as your voice. Let your eyes carry the meaning. Let your confidence do the talking. Because the woman who knows how to call a man something special, something that touches a part of him he didn't even know was there, is the woman who stays on his mind. She's the one he thinks about late at night, the one who ruined him for anyone else. So here's your next step. Pick just one of these names and try it this week. Not in a fake or planned way, just when the moment feels fun or real or electric. Say it. Watch his face, watch his energy shift, and then smile. Because you'll know you just lit a spark he won't be able to forget. You don't need a script. You don't need cheesy lines. You just need one word, said the right way, that makes him feel something real. And when it comes from you, game over. Now, go light that fire. He'll never see it coming.